My name is Anita, and today I have to mention we're at Honey and Dough restaurant in Westlands. You'll be hearing some background noise, from also the customers in the restaurant, and we apologize for that. First of all, I'd like to thank my new subscribers and also the subscribers that have stayed here. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate you guys. So anyway, I'll let my guest introduce herself again. I know some of you already know her, but yeah, she's going to introduce herself.
Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you for having me again. My name is Susan Yabena. I am the CEO of Gender Inc. and I also work as the project manager for MGBV, that is Mobile Gender Based Violence. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Short and precise. So anyway, in preparation for the 16 days of activism against GBV, which will start on 25th this month, it runs up to 10th November, which is the Human Rights Day. So in preparation for that, I decided to invite Susan to talk about issues surrounding GBV because there's misinformation around GBV. People don't really understand, and also we need education around these areas so that we try to, at least prevent or reduce the number of GBV cases. As you all know, during this pandemic, we've had cases of GBV rising, and that's something that you cannot just ignore. We need to really address it, and also we're going to focus on the various forms of GBV, the myths surrounding GBV, how to prevent GBV. So we're going to talk about those things. And first of all, I'd like Susan to just explain to us what GBV is.
Okay. In simple terms, or rather just conversation, I would say GBV, gender based violence, is any act that is perpetrated towards an individual or inflicted to an individual without their consent, regardless of their gender. Though women are more victims, but regardless of their gender, whatever that is inflicted towards you without your consent, it is GBV.
And on that note, Susan, maybe
Yes.
you can just explain to us the various forms of GBV.
Okay, so we have sexual violence, we have domestic violence, we have intimate partner violence, we have harmful traditional practices that we have female genital mutilation, early marriages, breast flattening, and things like that. We have economic violence, we have psychological violence, and an emerging issue right now is cyberbullying. It's part of violence.
Oh,
Yes.
oh wow. Before we get to that, I've noticed you mentioned domestic violence and intimate partner violence. Could you explain to us the difference between those two?
Okay, I'll start with intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence occurs within two people who are in a relationship, love relationship, or intimate relationship. That can be your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, between lovers, even your exes, so long as like you had that intimacy. So any violence that occurs within that particular space is what is referred as intimate partner violence. Now, domestic violence is anything that happens within the confines of your home, the private sphere. It can be from the husband to the wife, the husband to the children, or from the mother to the children, or the wife to the husband. So it cuts across. So anything within the home confines is what we call domestic violence.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, this is very interesting, Susan. Can you talk about the myths surrounding GBV? What are these myths? Because one thing for sure I know is a myth is like the feeling of entitlement, towards other people, like I'll say men feel entitled to women. You feel entitled to her body. You can do whatever you want with her. They don't have autonomy or something like that. Yeah, could you just explain to us this myth?
Okay, I would say first before I mention the myths, I would say let us normalize, having perpetrators take responsibility. If your relative, your brother, your father, your uncle, whoever is a perpetrator, has committed any form of violence towards another human being, let them take responsibility. Don't
Please,
hide them.
please,
Don't,
please, please.
it's like they're your own, they're your blood. So I don't know
You know
if
what?
they cannot.
It's good you touched on that because it was just yesterday that I was reading on Facebook. This from a senior page. There's uh, there's a father of two kids, 3 year old and 4 days old, who sexually assaulted his kids. You know, and then he was arrested, but the relatives went to the police station to demand his release. Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's so
it's an
sad.
interesting concept, and it's very unfortunate that it happened like
Yeah.
that. And maybe I would want to see the faces of these relatives, look at them and try to
It's
comprehend
ridiculous.
whatever is going through their
Yeah.
minds, because this happening, it doesn't even need to be your child for you to feel the pain. Just the thought of it, even if the pain is inflicted to you, live how old the children are. As we are adults, this kind of pain is inflicted to you. The trauma you face is as compared to children who don't even comprehend, they're yet to fully develop. Their sexual reproductive organs are not fully developed. So you can imagine the pain they've gone through physically, and then talk about the trauma that will come with it. So as we were talking about the myths, and now the major myth is that, oh, you brought it upon yourself, you the victim. Usually, if you are using an example of men being the perpetrator, she was wearing a very short dress. Oh, she was dressed like this, so it is like she was inviting, me.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate because if you're an adult male, so you cannot think. Like you cannot think. You cannot say that this is not my woman, I should not approach. This is a child, a bit of you cannot comprehend. So you want to say in your mind, you know, it's like you don't have anything in your brain, so
Yeah,
you
that's
can
very
just move.
interesting.
You're moving like an animal.
Yeah, and I remember I
You
was
know?
also mentioning to you this means when it also comes to like reporting,
Yes.
when you maybe report to authorities or someone who has an authority, and then they ask you, oh, okay, so you feel harassed, okay? Did the person touch you? No. Did the person or did he move close to you? No. Oh, so he only told you words. It's just words. There's nothing else. It was just, like he was just talking. He didn't do anything to you physically, and you say, it, yeah, he was just telling me things, and they'd be like, okay, so that's not violence. I mean, that's normal. It's not normal. It's
It's
not
not
normal
normal at all.
to be threatened. And I think I remember there's a time I also posted this story on my channel here where someone was really harassing me, and nobody takes it seriously. They're like, just forget it. It's okay. Just move on. And this person was threatening to beat me, threatening to to do things to me. And he was like, I can do this to you and nobody will do anything. I can rape you and you won't do anything about it. That's harassment, and
Yeah, it is harassment.
it's not
And
acceptable.
it's not acceptable, and mostly we put it under psychological because it's verbal, and sometimes it's verbal. What people say to you, it affects you psychologically and emotionally. That is why I say emotionally and psychologically they go together. So you're there, somebody is saying things and blah blah. Okay, you cannot say that if you say something, it does not count, because it all starts in the mind. So once you think, it will become your thoughts, and you tend to act on what you think. So when the person starts thinking of how they are going to touch you and hold you and grab you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even in the Bible, it says that so long as you've thought about it, is as good as you've done it. So you cannot tell me because you thought it, you said it does not count. It truly counts as what as you have done. And if I don't take any precautionary measures, the next time you have an opportunity, for sure you will do whatever you have in mind. So
Exactly.
when somebody starts to speak, or I don't know how they're looking at you, or they're going, whoever you can reach out to, any person that you feel safe with, go and have this conversation. Say this person is already making moves as soon as possible, as soon as possible. So that is the first myth that people usually. The second myth, sorry, we've talked about false reporting.
Yeah.
Another thing is that people say, GBV is, maybe sexual harassment is done by strangers or people who are not, mentally okay. She has given the story of the dad who raped the children. It's not like the dad is a stranger; it's a relative, the father of, the children. And sometimes you can find people who have mental challenges, but not all perpetrators are mentally challenged. They know what they are doing.
They
When
do.
I usually say when you walk, if you want to test their knowledge, walk around the streets. You find ladies, who are not mentally okay, who are mentally disabled, or the ones people call chumara. They're pregnant. Who made them pregnant? People say sometimes it is street family, but sometimes these ladies are raped because you see their state. It's not like they're those people who can consent and say, I feel the sexually. Though people claim that you can be mad but you still have the sexual urges, but if you're okay, if you're 100% okay, why would you try to add, you know, burden a sexual reproductive issue to this lady who is already struggling mentally? So this whole conversation, those people are normal. They know exactly what you're doing, and if you're a perpetrator and you're caught, I think you should just, be prosecuted. If you're supposed to go to prison, go to whatever that needs to be done to curb this behavior should be done. Truly. There are quite a number of myths that really come with, and I'll give a funny story. I read, I don't remember in which country, but there is this lady who was raped. So when she went to court, the judge ruled and said that the lady was raped because she was wearing a red pant. And according to their culture, when you wear a red pant, it means that you're seducing the man, like you're ready for sex. And the judge ruled, and actually, it's like the lady lost, like the man was set free, and the campaign started and everything. But the question I asked is like, you as a man, well, like, how did you go and start to look like, okay, which underwear is this? So which pants is she wearing? So you can know who is ready and not. So you want to say, okay, so we should not wear particular kinds of pants that we feel comfortable with, that we feel beautiful about, when we wear. We should not wear because there is a man somewhere who cannot comprehend that, I'm wearing this particular dress to feel beautiful. Women wear things to feel beautiful about themselves.
I mean,
Not
it's even wrong.
for men.
It's even unthinkable that a court of law would even make such a decision.
Yes.
It's really bad because that only shows that the men, they feel entitled to our body. They can do whatever they want. If you have the urge, you do whatever you want. After all, I mean, it's like you have a right
to you accountable.
Yeah, because you're a man. You cannot hold yourself. You cannot control yourself. I mean, it's the woman to now decide whether it's going to happen or not.
She's the one who's supposed to dress well. She's the one who's supposed to, I don't know, get home, I don't know, particular time. It's all about women. Do not.
Like, don't walk on this street, because if you walk on this street, there's a man who is going to assault you. Don't dress like this, because if you dress like that, there's a man who is going to do this to you. Why does it have to be like that?
It's unfortunate. I remember there was also one conversation or rather poll that was going on social media, and somebody asked, what will you do if you have 24 hours of this world without men in it? And the answers were, it was sad. Somebody was like, oh, I can get to walk around at night, at midnight. I will take all my evening walks. I can wear whatever I want. It just shows that ladies are too scared when men are around, which is not supposed to be so.
No. Very sorry, we had to stop the video to complain about the music. It was getting really loud, and I don't know, I think it's going to really affect the video, but it's okay, so we'll just continue. We'll stick to our goal. So right now we're going to talk.
We're supposed to talk about the consequences and how to prevent gender-based violence.
Yes.
So I'll start with the consequences. So the consequences, it can be grouped in, let's say, 4 categories. There are consequences at the individual level, at the community level, at the society level, and I've forgotten the fourth one. But anyhow, so when we talk about the individual level, it's all about what happens to you, your sexual reproductive health, what it comes with it, the poverty, you feel entrapped, the trauma that comes with it. It's all something that happens to the individual. When you move to the community, definitely people who have experienced gender-based violence and whatever they're going through, they don't function at 100%. There is always something missing. They're always watching their back. They're always afraid to go out there. These are things that even lead to suicide. If people are entangled emotionally, physically, some people are left with scars that, every day when they wake up, they live to remember. And at the end of the day, everything fits in and it trickles down. And in the end, you see that the society at whole is affected just because particular percentage of the members had been affected by GBV. So it's something that's needed to be tended. And when you have children who live in abusive homes, it stays in their mind. It stays. Some of them, for the ladies, they will tend to people say you tend to attract people who are violent. Or you tend to believe that you should stay in an abusive relationship because you saw, maybe your mom or somebody close to you, staying in an abusive relationship. Same with the men. Men, when they're used to saying, okay, my dad used to beat my mom, they think it's a norm. So when they grow up, they beat their wife like it's a normal thing. So these are the kind of things that needs to be taken care of, and highlighting on the preventive measures. I would say it all starts when we are children. So right now we are focusing on women empowerment, which is good because for a while now women actually have been the victims, of the receiving end of GBV. But right now, if you are a mother and you have boys, it is now that you need to train them. Don't wait for them to grow up so that the society has to deal with them. Teach them to respect you. Teach them to know that when a woman says no, it means no. Don't allow them to discover themselves or discover their nature or whatever thing they're trying to discover. Have the conversation with them. As you're here, other parents are protecting their girls. You also do the needful. So you teach the boys as they grow to be men. These are the boundaries they need to be
Respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by the time we are meeting out there, we have balance. Men who are trained and ladies who are empowered. But if we keep on having conversation with ladies alone, the perpetrators are out there continuing like nothing happens because we didn't involve them. So involve people, involve men in this conversation, sensitize them, let them know that GBV is bad. Some of them grew up thinking it was normal. So let us demystify this kind of issues.
Yeah, so I think to prevent this, it definitely starts from us, from the kids. You have to teach the kids to be very respectful, and we have to get rid of this idea that boys are better than girls. Like you'll find a couple, they're really stressed about getting boys, so much because apparently boys are better than girls. So boys grow knowing they're better than girls. Boys are not supposed to do some house shows or something like that. Boys are supposed to, just sit and be pampered while girls do all the work and all that stuff. We need to just demystify these things and to just let the boys, everyone to take equal responsibility.
Yes.
When it comes to these things,
Yes.
it should not be that girls are held, more responsible, and boys, no one is accountable to them. They are not accountable to anyone. So we just need, as parents, we need to think of these things from early life because it's getting really bad. The main point is to just make everyone accountable and to make everyone responsible from an early age and to make everyone start respecting the other person so that when they grow, they are respectful. They know she's a girl, yes, but we are equal. We are equals. Yeah, I should give her the respect that I also deserve. Something like that.
Yes. Actually, it's all about having this conversation, all about sensitizing. We should stop feeling shy or this kind of I don't know how to talk about it. Start from somewhere. If you see them doing something, that is your pickup line. Start with it. Converse with them about these particular issues. If you don't converse with them, so who's going to have that conversation? The society out here? No, I think we should share the burden. Try from your side, I'll try from my side. Let us meet halfway and make a better society.
And then I also liked something Susan told me before we started recording the video. Sometimes, especially when you're walking maybe on a street and you notice someone following you, post drama, be a drama queen,
Yes.
be a drama queen.
Yes.
Because these people don't like drama.
True.
Post all the drama you want. If you look like a mad woman, just ask
True.
the guy, why are you following me?
True.
You've been following me from here since here. Just be, if you're aware of of him following you, just post drama. Don't be quiet about it. Just post the drama if you have people around.
Yes.
Let them know that you're aware that you're being followed.
Yes, it works. It has worked for me 2 times. I was followed, and I just cause drama. I tend to be quiet. You just tend to mind your own business. But my dear, it is better you get embarrassed for those few minutes that you're going to get embarrassed, but you're going to save yourself years of trouble. Because those people, the moment you start to shout, it's like you're drawing attention to them, and they don't like attention. So, see a perpetrator, you're walking down the street, they're trying to harass you, start shouting. So long as you see people around you, start shouting, do whatever you've got to do. If you have to walk, like the cars are not moving, it's not a highway, just walk in the middle of the road, they just stand in the middle of the road, and it's like you're causing drama. The individual will move away because it's the only way. You cannot say that you fight your perpetrator. Sometimes you never know what particular weapons they have, how strong they are. So find a defense mechanism that works for you. Shout. Do whatever you've got to do and save yourself.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and it's also good to speak out.
Yes.
Don't let things slide. Don't look at something and be quiet about it and say, oh no, it's okay, maybe they will change. No, no, no. Speak out. Let your opinion be known. Stand for something. Stand firm against something that is not right. Yeah. And I also touched on how to protect kids from this GBV. You'll find it in one of the videos in my channel. So be a drama queen. Be self-aware.
True.
Just know when something is, if you feel something is not right, stand up and speak out. Susan can do it.
No, on personal level, people know I don't like drama. The thought of drama or the sight of drama really drives me away. I don't like the noise. But this is this is life and death. Huh? Scream, my dear. Do whatever. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you've got to do. It's going to save you a whole lot. As compared to when you're quiet, they think you're timid and you can easily be taken advantage of. So shout, I've, I've had an incident at the office, and a particular individual was making really sexual moves, and it was getting irritated. Well, on an official event, and it was getting too much. So we were like a team of profession. I just brought the topic up and I say, there's a lot of sexual harassment at this environment. And then when we started to, and I was looking at the individual and I say, you see, for example, the person is calling late at night, the person is doing it reached a point the guy said, I think we should not talk about this conversation anymore. And that is how you shame them. So from there, people tend to misunderstand what I am doing. You told the individual, no, stop calling, stop making passes, stop doing. The person kept on doing it. Embarrass them.
Yeah.
Embarrass them. It doesn't matter. Just the moment the moment I spoke there, I've had witnesses. So if anything should happen to me, it is him who will point at. It's just simple. If you get an opportunity surrounding people you trust, people you know will take action, talk about it, speak out. It is better to save yourself than to be in trouble. It's way worse. So just talk about it. Yeah.
Susan, I know we are short on time, but next time I'd like us to talk about this issue of IPV.
Yes, please.
And also focus on also children, because these are very serious matters that need to be discussed. You'll find people suffering, in silence, and families supporting perpetrators and all that. I think this is something that really needs to be addressed. So maybe before 25th,
Yeah, we
can still discuss.
Yeah, we will do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, we have to end this video here because the music is threatening. I know it's going to affect this video, but it's okay. So we have to stop here, and then we'll continue with the IPV and the child talk.
Child abuse.
And child abuse next. Next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Susan, for showing up. I'm so
Thank
sorry
you
I was
too.
late for this. I was like an hour late and I'm so sorry.
It's
So
okay.
anyway, next time I'll be so early. And guys, thank you so much for this day. We're going to have our lunch now. And see you next time.
See you people.
Bye. Oh gosh.
So, having traditional practices, that is where we think